Hello, good evening, everyone. Once again, in this, recently, as everyone knows, this whole, headline that's just sweeping the nation. Not only the sports world, but just the world in general. LeBron James, as I call him, the Diva James, has just joined the Miami Heat. Or as I like to call him now, the NWO of basketball. Or should I call them the Miami World? Or I'll just leave it as NWO because this recent acquisition of a pickup of LeBron, kind of reminds me of of the NWO and WCW. Back in '96 when back in '96 when Hulk Hogan had joined Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Of course, at that time Hogan was like the most recognizable face, all throughout the sport, and just all throughout, wrestling in general, if not of all time. And so, for him to trade in the red and gold and go for the black and white, and become a villain, and not only that, but still dominate, something that was, very impressive in my view. And so, so recently with LeBron joining Miami, it's like I say, it's no different than than NWO. And on top of that, I'm not surprised that when the NBA that when the season starts, it's really gonna be something. I'm not surprised that that when the season starts, that all of a sudden when the announcer announces Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and Chris Bosh, I wouldn't be surprised if they start playing the NWO music, and in the light, and the lights just go black and white or something, and on top of that, since LeBron's like Hogan, except the only difference is that before Hogan joined the NWO, he was a world champion about 5-6 times before that, and LeBron has yet to win one. That's the only real difference. But at the same time, just a little side note, I do not think that that Miami is gonna be able to really get past my Lakers, because with us, LA is definitely not only a dynasty, not only a dynasty period with Kobe, but as far as right now, we've really built tremendous chemistry, and anytime you go in back-to-back championships like that, we've really built a core team, with a coach like Phil Jackson, and veterans like Kobe and Derek Fisher, along with Odom, Gasol, Artest, just a team. You lost Farmar, but still, still we have a lot of depth. And last time I checked, in order to win the championship, in order to win a championship, you have to at least have a 12-man roster, not 3. I always thought a championship was won by a team, at least by won by at least 12, not just 3 guys. So as far as their bench, unless somebody knows more about Miami than I do, but as far as their bench goes, I think there's really much left to be desired at that point. But anyway, moving on from that, congratulations to Spain to win the World Cup. But I also want to talk about just talk about video games, and and how especially in sports games, wrestling games is just so much, so many different, it's not a lot of updates. The main, the graphics really, to me, from what I've seen, are pretty much the same. As far as this SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 that's coming up, is no different, from 2010. All they're doing, I don't see, too much. They just, putting more details and tables matches and stuff like that. It's, but it's only but so much you can really add. It's, a lot of stuff, it's really different from, from back when I was, younger. We had a WCW, NWO Revenge, WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, World Tour, WrestleMania arcade game. Even though at that time, the graphics, may not, may be nowhere near, as in depth and detailed as the ones now. I believe, as far as the quality, of those games, how they, just, always, just very fresh and, just very exciting and, it's very interactive and stuff like that. It's, you really can't replace it. But, what else am I going to say? But, as far as, another thing, I definitely want to talk about, as far as the state of the WWE is concerned, not really, from what I see, it's obviously, it's not really all that great, especially ever since the retirement of HBK and the absence of of Triple H. I'm sure he's going to be going pretty soon. And, as well as Undertaker is another guy, who I meant to mention in the last video. Him along with Sting and TNA. As far as like the main superstars, I'd say Shawn, Sting, Brett, or Taker, then Brett, whatever, it's just, just those main guys. But there have been some, some pretty good ups and, and definitely been some downs. I'll say this. I applaud the WWE universe, for really being smart. For Randy Orton, starting to create more fans than John Cena now. What I'm saying? I'm glad people are really starting to wake up and I'm glad people are really starting to wake up and smell the coffee and realize, for real that Randy Orton is actually better than John Cena, and they're giving Orton, a pretty fair push, as the fan favorite is concerned, even though he's like a natural villain, but between him and a guy like Cena, to be honest, I take Orton straight up, even though Cena is that, even though Cena's kind of added a little bit more to his repertoire, eventually, over time, I guess the fans will start to get a little tired of, the rapping and, which he doesn't really do too much. I'm glad, eventually, eventually the fans, start to get a little tired of that, along with spinning belts, shorts, and you can't see me and all this different type of stuff, and so, definitely, a guy like Orton, he's really, very, very focused, very calculating, and just, he just has that factor, that charisma, what it is, and along with, his many different moves, which are more than John Cena has. I think Orton probably has like more moves than, in like his pinky finger than Cena probably has in his whole body. But anyway, like I say, I definitely applaud the WWE universe out there. So hopefully there'll be a even though this guy's a villain, hopefully Edge will become a 10-time world champion at least somewhere along the road. This year, since he just came back, from that 6-month injury at the Royal Rumble to win. And so I definitely believe he should at least get one good at least one good world title run. But eventually it's going to have to end at the hands of the Viper himself, Randy Orton. So I definitely have many more videos to follow up about this. So but definitely a part two. Part two's on its way pretty soon.